Man, this chapter was a rush. I swear, each new chapter of My Hero Academia nowadays ends up being like a shot of adrenaline into your day. Because this chapter makes so many revelations, changes in emotion, quick thinking and processing. It is fabulous. And the art, as always, is masterful. Well done, Horikoshi. As we open up, we get to see that Chisaki actually was a lot more lucid than I was thinking from the beginning. I thought he wasn't quite in his right mind, but no. The whole reason why Lady Nia was able to track down Izuku was because Chisaki led him to him, as it were. We get to see that while Negan was going clothes shopping to get her new uniform, her new outfit, Chisaki actually did mention he knew Izuku, Midoriya. It was because of him his whole empire came crumbling down and all of that. And he said that he would be able to ID Izuku for Negan if he did one thing, and that was take him to his boss. So I think Chisaki still has the regret that he was never able to restore his boss to full health, because he originally put his original boss back into bad health because he wanted him out of the picture so that Chisaki could do his own thing, build up the Yakuza the way he wanted to, and then he would present it to his boss after the job was done. But because of that everything that happened, he was never able to restore his boss the way he wanted to. So he tagged along with Negan, but he's being used as a bit of a hostage, as Negan, in a really kind of gruesome display, overloads her rifle to make it high-powered, high-focus impact. As Chisaki is yelling to Negan, "You gotta take me to the boss. I held up my end of the deal. Please take me to the boss." But Negan is using him as a bit of a, what will you do kind of situation. A high-speed projectile being fired at Chisaki. Izuku has to think quick on his feet, and he wouldn't let himself live it down if Chisaki died on his watch, and she's using that to her advantage. So, she's assuming that, okay, he won't be able to think fully about what he needs to do. He might even jump in the way of the bullet, take the hit, and that would slow him down. Interestingly enough, we get to see Izuku basically use, as far as I can tell, a combination of Black Whip to grab onto a side of the building, using Fajin to build up enough kinetic energy in conjunction with One for All in order to propel him forward at high blinding speeds towards Chisaki, and using what he calls Fox 100% all for one for all. So he's using that to compensate for other abilities that all for one would grant him. So he's actually moving at high speeds, very similar to what one for all would actually do, but without putting the maximum amount of strain on his body. Going in, pushing Chisaki out of the direction of the bullet. And I love Negan's reaction to this, just like, what the? That's impossible! And I just love it because she's realizing that in that split moment, he didn't even think about what he was doing. He caught up to her shot because he was already ready to go and save Chisaki from the jump. The moment Chisaki was in danger, Izuku was moving. And that just goes to show, from the jump of this series, Izuku moves before he knows what he's doing. He goes for the save no matter what, immediately. And I love that because, it's been said before that, Izuku having all these powers, it makes him broken. Not really. Even the previous wielders of a lot of these quirks have said before, my power is not that impressive. Yeah, One for All kind of boisters it to a little degree, but it's not the most impressive thing around. It's not going to immediately win you a battle, but it's because Izuku and his thoughtful nature, the way his mind works, helps to make it so that the combination of all these quirks and his analytical mind make him incredibly proficient at what he's trying to do. He's not invincible, but he is just so tactically minded that, and he just thinks so far outside of the box that he's able to do so much more than what you would think he'd be able to do. Yeah, a smokescreen is great, but it's not going to win you a fight. Black Whip is great. It's not going to win you a fight. Kinetic energy building is great, but it is not going to win you a fight. Hell, even All for One, with all the quirks he had, still got his ass beat by one dude with incredible super strength. Having multiple quirks don't mean shit if you don't have the mind in order to use it, and Izuku proves that at every turn, especially in the next section where he's just thinking about how he was able to analyze, okay, I used Fajin before and I didn't account for certain parameters on how to evenly distribute it with all my other quirks, so I adjusted for that here, and I was just like, okay, use a little bit of Black Whip here and there, use the conjunction with Fajin and One for All, just using a little bit of Fajin stored within my legs, and using a little bit of Black Whip, and then he sends some of that energy from Fajin into the Black Whip in order to sling it forward in conjunction with One for All, and he manages to just send out Black Whip in such a forceful blow that it just damages Lady Negan's rifle. Boom! 100% faux 100% Manchester, he calls it. Smash. And he just breaks Lady Negan's rifle. Doesn't harm her specifically, but breaks her rifle right then and there. It is insanity. And Lady Negan realizes, just like no hesitation, he did what he needed to do without missing a beat. And, she's impressed by this, and it kind of throws her off as her airwalk, or whatever it's called. She loses her focus, she loses her balance. She's just like impressed. It's just like, even recognizing Chisaki as an enemy, he still leapt in to save people. Like it was just the most natural thing for him. And she starts to kind of question, when did it start to become that I just wasn't able to deal with anything anymore? Why did I stop being here? She's starting to rethink a lot of things just seeing Izuku in action. And the thing that really just throws her off completely is when Izuku comes in, saves her, but not just to get answers from her. It's the realization. He says, you weren't aiming for Chisaki. You weren't trying to get a headshot or anything. The aim was a little bit off. You weren't trying to kill him in that. And if you were really on board for all that All for One was trying to do, you would have gone for more fatal shots. A lot of your shots were shots to my non-vital areas. You were pulling your punches this entire time. And it might be that was just the mission, or it might also be that she wasn't looking to just up and kill a kid. But Izuku goes on to say, it's just like, I know you have darkness within you, but I think there's a way to bring you back into the light. Despite what you did, yes, you took a life, but it wasn't for the wrong reasons. You got misguided along the way. There's something more to you, and I love that aspect of Izuku's mind, the way he thinks and all of that. And Izuku even asks, hey, please fight on our side. I know you still have the soul of a hero within you. And Lady Negan, giving this absolutely genuine smile despite the worry behind it, she thinks, you know what, Izuku Midoriya, you're the real deal. Unfortunately, there was a catch to whatever All for One did to her. Yes, he gave her an extra quirk, but he also put in a little bit of a fail-safe. If she should lose, or if she should fail in her task, she self-destructs. And we see these cracks forming throughout her body, and she just explodes. And I'm not talking and explode in anger. No, she blows right the fuck up. And she looks absolutely devastated, charred to a crisp almost. Honestly, if you were to tell me she just outright died from this, I would have no problem believing it. I would fully believe it. But, Hawks then jumps in as her body is falling to the ground, down. He catches her and says, "No dying on me, Negan." So I have to believe that she is alive to some degree. But man, within the span of a few chapters, you've endeared me to this character. I want to see her make it through. I want to see her, maybe do something better with her life to be something better. Yes, she killed the head of the safety commission, but with everything that man was having her do, and that moment that made her turn and kill him, basically, it was basically him threatening her in that instance. I can't believe he was a completely clean person at all. But at the same time, yeah, she didn't have a right to kill the man. So it's a very gray area when it comes to this character, but I would like to see some form of redemption for this character, because I think it's possible to a certain degree. She isn't completely a lost cause. It's not so much that she hated Hero Society. She hated a lot of the things that it stood for and a lot of the ways that it worked. But with people like Izuku in the world, who despite everything that he's seen, everything that he's been through, still is willing to do what it takes to save people. Not end their lives because that's what he's told is needed in order to keep the peace. No, he will save people doing what he does best and save them with a smile. And that's it's those Superman-esque qualities to Izuku that really shine through. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And all of it can be traced back to the Hero Academia he's had up until now. We're seeing everything that's been built on for Izuku shining at the forefront right now. Everything he's learned through his schooling and his studies and all that, and the experiences that he's had, and even stuff that's been there from the very beginning. Izuku has really grown as a true hero. But tell me your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you believe that Lady Negan should survive or will survive? Or do you believe that she'll die or should die for everything that she's done? Do you believe that ultimately she will end up being something that turns the tide for Izuku in the end? And what do you think about his application of his abilities? Do you feel like I feel, and that ultimately it's because Izuku is the person that he is that he's able to wield them with so much proficiency? Or do you still feel that Izuku is ultimately broken and he shouldn't have gotten all these separate quirks and abilities from One for All? Do you feel that ultimately he should have just had the super strength if nothing else? Or would you even have preferred that Izuku from the jump was powerless and had substituted with technology? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell depending on how you felt on this review. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please let me know. Or don't. I ain't your daddy, but I still love you like one. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.